and just now partnering with ProView Networks and Comcast Channel 26 to bring the radio show every single day live to to everyone that receives Comcast here in the state. So what's that number? Like a million people or something crazy?
Well, it's not quite a million.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's 280,000
so crazy.
households for Comcast.
Well,
but the reach with the internet, and then so it can reach all the households in the state of New Mexico.
Isn't that crazy?
So,
Yeah, I think we've been 8 days, almost 10 days now. We've been doing the program with you daily, and the feedback is just through the roof. So I didn't realize the impact that Comcast Channel 26 and ProView had into homes, but I'm getting a lot of screenshots of people watching. I'm getting a lot of really positive feedback. So thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for having us.
Well, it's your opportunity to take advantage of that, and I want to thank you for seeing the value that the city has, and what ProView has to offer. But it's just another platform, and the more I think about it, you're on also ProView's platform on Facebook, and so you've got like 6-7 platforms right now. So.
Well, and we wrapped the show literally yesterday, and it was a good show. We did it here from the studio, and then right away it's really been like interns are calling. Like people are interested now on a level that they weren't necessarily originally. And it's not just the content stuff; it's the production stuff, it's the behind the scenes stuff. Because we know how many people it takes, and as fortunate as I am to tell jokes on the microphone all the time, I recognize that it takes a lot of individuals to bring that to others, and people recognize the game here. So again, just a great opportunity. I'm glad the show is now not just an audio platform, but a video platform as well.
I'll go one step further with something that you do. You and Van, you go to other vendors. I mean, you go to sponsors, or you go to you're live in those spots.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, you sold me on Pinion Coffee, okay?
Oh, there we go.
I'm just saying, I don't know that the understanding that you visually you get to see the person talk, and then you get to see the restaurant and see the things that they're doing. Well, I think that is so so awesome.
I'm really appreciative of you even giving me that opportunity to bring them up, because how important it to me to be part of the community, and a lot of people, I think, if we're to ask, they would say, "Hey Fred, what's your job?" And I say, "Well, I'm a radio host." But the truth is, what I like to do is I like to identify what I identify as social problems and then take other people's money and fix them. So New Mexico Pinion Coffee, they just partnered with our favorite non-for-profit in town, Locker 505. So if you go to New Mexico Pinion Coffee now through the end of the year, you can make a donation of clothing to New Mexico Pinion, and they'll take 10% off of your entire bill in New Mexico Pinion. And if you make a donation of a high need item, so that's like undergarments, that's brand new socks and shoes. If you make that donation to Mexico Pinion Coffee and you share a social media post, they'll take 25% off your total. So you can get coffee at next to nothing, and what they do is they help Locker 505. So it's the partners we have in the community here is important to me as the product itself.
Well, I tell you, I'm glad you made me excited the first time I said, "Well, you're going to go live," and you didn't think we were ready.
Yeah.
But I said that. Well, that's how we learn to get better. And I tell you, the response of your face was just saying, "Look, I got goosebumps when I'm ready to go."
That. Yeah.
So.
Well, and again, it's about that 360 approach. So if it's the audio and it's the television, it's the digital media, and then be able to put the product out in front of people. Today, for instance, after we wrap up your show, we're live from Hollow Spirits today. So whenever we go to Hollow Spirits, we bring up the friends of the show.
I have seen that, and I just saw the background.
Yeah.
And that's something you need to get that background.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and and the thing that's so great about that is when we're on site at a place, we try to incentivize like our friends we call our listeners friends of the show. And we try to incentivize them coming out to us. So if it's ticket giveaways for sporting events, Isotopes or United or concerts or whatever it is, the idea is come and hang out with us and we'll make it worth your while. We're not asking you to just come out, and we are saying support the sponsors, but we're asking you to be part of the fellowship and enjoy it.
Well, I thoroughly enjoy watching. I come home, I listen. It's kind of neat. You get in your car, you're driving home between 4 to 5, and then you get out of your car, and then because you have anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10 or more guests coming on, and they're all people that are good people of the community.
Oh, I agree. Well, and I think the precedent was set not by us, but it's set by, you also simulcast the morning show. You know, the opening drive every day, which to me is the staple here in Albuquerque. I just think they're the highest standard. They set that plate all day, and then it's for us to kind of piggyback off that. And I'm not going to say the best guest in the state is Danny Gonzalez, but as far as high-profile guys that we regularly have on, the head football coach of the football team in the state, that's basically as high profile as it gets. And for him to be able to come on to either the morning show or our show and break down players and talk about matchups and do fun stuff, and to give that insight to Lobo fan, that to me is so big. And whenever you're able to do it with a face and a name with the television, to me it only enhances the product. But yeah, we're fortunate to have a lot of really good guests, and we're fortunate to share stories, and also a lot of punchlines, you know, because we're talking about sports. This is the playground of life. And if we can utilize this and laugh a lot, and at the end of the day feel like we didn't work that hard, I think every day is a good day.
Well, back to Danny Gonzalez, the thing that's so that I'm intrigued about is his excitement to be on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, he brings energy to the show, and you know he does the morning show. He does
the competitor too.
It's almost like you and man. When are you guys going to wear out? I mean, it's amazing. You know, I was listening to him. I was listening to you guys yesterday, and he was fired up.
He's a firecracker,
and he's ready. He's ready, you know, for that first game.
And I tell you what, Steve, he meets the call in so many ways as well, because Danny, we called him 2 months ago, and we're like, hey, are all the boys in town? You know, he's like, yeah, I got about 100 of the 102 that are going to be here. And we're like, great. Our friends over at Locker 505, they're moving their location. So they're in a warehouse that's about 2,500 square feet. They need to go to a warehouse about 7,000 square feet. And Danny says, let me bring 100 football players out there, and we'll move everything for you. And Danny brings out the equipment trailer, 100 guys loaded in clothes and supplies and everything. We have a month's worth of work done in about 4 hours. Are you kidding me? Danny Gonzalez he's the top tier, Steve.
I tell you what, Fred, we're going to go to our first top 10 plays of
let's go.
The year. I haven't seen it, so I'm excited to see this. I tell you, Aaron worked on this, and it's our first one.
I'm going to give you my reaction when we get back. I love this stuff.
Oh, nice right hand. Good left hand by Gonzalez off the rope. Right hand. Left hook again by Gonzalez. And the left hook.
Gonzalez.
They're going to stop it.
Gonzalez right in front of us here.
They're going to stop
That's
it. I told you.
That's it.
And there is those left hooks to the body.
Elijah Brody, we'll talk about that at halftime. They'll keep this one on the ground. Takes a nice high hop over the head of Montoya. Wow!
A couple of yards difference from where everything started here. Searmans drops back. He's got some time. He's going to go forward. He's rushing through for a first down. Searmans, even with the ball being threatened, he's still moving. Can anything stop this kid? He's up to the 3-yard line, a 24-yard game on third down.
Keep going. They're throwing. They're throwing. Go.
Set it down. Armenta quickly. Oh, what a ball. He's got to find his man, and he does. Touchdown, Sanchez. Wide open. Love the play design there.
All starts have led to a first down and 20 for the Tigers. Searmans will hold on to it. He's unleashing this one, looking for Baca in the end zone. Touchdown. And you cannot count out the Tigers as they flip the field. I think we might see a pass here as Los Lunas has a lot of men stacked inside. He lets it go before being hit and sliding down, intercepted. That's going to be a slip, and the Los Lunas Tigers will get this ball back on the play. It's Dominic Trujillo. Loss of 8 earlier kind of slowed down his momentum. Hunter Garcia back. He's going to unleash. And could be another interception. It is. It's the same man, Dominic Trujillo.
From his defense.
Oh no, especially as well as Rio Rancho is tackled.
DeBuy, he gets free towards the sideline. See you later. Touchdown, Gabriel Bowie. Armenta, 3rd and long. He's been under pressure a lot. This one is up for grabs. A horrible throw, and it is going to go all the way for the interception and touchdown. Rams on the board first.
Oh, he knocked down Curtis with the left hook to start round 4.
Welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Fred Slow, host of Two Men On, and another thing we'll talk about maybe this segment or the next segment is, also your thing with New Mexico Highlands.
Yeah, New Mexico. That's been a great opportunity, and I tell you what, if there's anyone to solely thank for that, it's probably you. It's given me the opportunity to broadcast for Highlands last year, and I came in about mid-season through football, and then it was all except for the time I skipped for the Super Bowl. You allowed me to broadcast as many games as possible. And then through some community efforts up there, they wanted to bring someone into the administration team. So went from strictly broadcasting to now kind of running all the outreach stuff. So it's everything at social media and the website and the athletic director of communications. So kind of a cool opportunity up there at Highlands, and I wouldn't have it without you and ProView Network. So holding a special place in my heart.
Well, with Andrew Ewing, he's the athletic director, and he's finally getting his staff. Okay,
yeah.
I mean, you got to think that he didn't have a staff for 2 years. Okay, and it's amazing what. But there's a little bit of buzz. He's got new coaches, new. I think there's new football coach. It's his 2nd year.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got a new soccer coach, and
so
it's just kind of walked through that a little bit. So.
Coach Hudson in his first year with the football program is, important football is to me. If football and men's basketball are the two big ones, no matter where you're at. And with Coach Mike Dominguez on the basketball side, he's kind of got a staple of a name here in the community, and he does real good at drawing New Mexico athletes. But Coach Ron Hudson with the football team, they might not have the talent they slated to have at the beginning of last season, but they're more of a team for certain. And they got a brand new quarterback in Zeke Payne, who came over from San Diego, and I think he's going to be a real contributor. And I think like every college in the state has a new quarterback this year. So it's going to be kind of fun to watch the progression of the D2, including Eastern and Western, and then obviously the D1 with University of New Mexico and New Mexico State. But Coach Ron Hudson, to me, character-wise, is up there just as high as I consider Danny Gonzalez.
Well, you talk about Highland. It's amazing the personnel educators that are in the city of Albuquerque.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, almost every week, every school, there's like somebody that's graduated from Highland.
Yeah.
And then they have that alumni. As you found out, I told you this is one of the things I talked to you about. It was amazing how many all of a sudden, and they just, there's, like I said, there's a little buzz, there's a little bit of excitement because people, now they have you and ProView putting their games up and doing those type things that all of a sudden there's like I said, there's a little buzz about New Mexico Highlands.
And one inside baseball a little bit for the the fans of your show and the listeners of my products, where it's this past weekend, Channel 7, Channel 4, and Channel 13 all in sequential days ran stories on New Mexico Highlands University. And when's been the last time that there's been that much attention given to like a Division II program? And to my recollection, very little. And those conversations go on where it's, hey, obviously the games are going on the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Network, but ProView produces those. So like if those outlets are in need, they have really high quality product and they can communicate that the game and the message and the scores to the fans of New Mexico Highlands University. But you said this to me when I first took the job. You said, hey, Fred, it's not a small world per se, but it's a small business. And the people that come out of Highlands, they live here in Albuquerque. They're supporters. If I wear a purple hat out, people will talk to me, and they'll talk to me about their excitement of the program.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Wearing a hat will let people talk to you.
Well, you know how it is when you're the voice. If they hear me talk, maybe they'll recognize me, but they don't necessarily know. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an incredible thing, and I didn't think the impact would be as significant as it has been early, but it's been substantial and sustained.
Well, back to Coach Hudson. I met him one time, and I've seen him. I've seen him at the Gladiators.
Yeah.
And that kind of, from a distance, it actually set him with a band. And
okay.
He went to the game, and this is maybe one of the first games, and I didn't know who he was. I just saw he was wearing purple and then the band came over, and I put two to two together. But I didn't get a chance to go over and say hello to him or introduce myself to him. But that just showed me the character that he wants to be involved with New Mexico. He goes to a Gladiators game, and watched it. But I just met him, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago when they had the alumni tournament.
Yeah.
And golf tournament or fundraiser. And I tell you, you talk about emotion, and you talk about goosebumps.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to speak for 3 or 4 minutes at that thing, and I was like, how can you not want to support him?
He's an absolute motivator, and there's a couple layers to that Gladiators aspect because they had a quarterback for a lot of years, Nate Davis, who went down with a knee injury, and they brought in Ramon Atkins.
And I didn't put that together either because it's a Highland deal. That just shows you the character that he
does.
has.
So Ramon, who played quarterback at New Mexico Highlands for 3 years, started 2. He's a tremendous athlete and played then for the Gladiators in replacement of Nate Davis. And a little birdie told me Ramon Atkins might be getting a call for an XFL tryout, by the way. I don't know if that's breaking or not. But yeah, Coach Hudson, to follow him into his professional career and still be there by his side and have that presence is incredible. And then, talking about Coach Hudson, he and I are working on a project together with Pink Warrior House because Coach Hudson's a cancer survivor. And he is partnered with Pink Warrior House on a women's clinic fundraiser that'll be the 11th. It'll be September 11th. And it's going to sit down women and breast cancer survivors who are passionate about learning the game of football and talking about the X and O's and explain the game. And it's going to be a full sit-down little dinner thing. And whenever Coach Hudson originally came to me, he said, I just want to help people who have been impacted. And it, to me, it's those efforts off the field that I always put so much spotlight on because you're a great coach. You're at that level, but you're also great people.
Well, I'll tell you what, Fred, we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back and talk more a little bit of Highlands and talk a bit more about 2 Men On.
Awesome.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We got Fred Slow, and we're talking about University of Highlands University, and good things going with the football coach. But there's a soccer game this week.
Yeah. So opening up, it's regular season, but it's not in conference, and I believe Chaminade's coming to town. They're from Hawaii, so that's going to be a good one. But there's Lincoln this weekend. Chaminade's Monday. But yeah, women's soccer at home this weekend. Volleyball started on the road last week. Highlands was at UNM, and kind of a fun special thing with that was after the football scrimmage on Saturday, like half the football team went down to Albuquerque and celebrated the girls playing volleyball against UNM. So there's a lot of inter-sport relationships I think are really important, and those guys succeed. But yeah, soccer is starting, and football kicks off on the 1st, and yeah, we're in full swing, and it just kind of snuck up on us.
Well, I got a memo. Somebody wrote on Highlands, and it talked about the recruits of Mike Dominguez.
Yeah,
that's games that me and you will be doing, and it's going to be. I'm excited about that. But just looking at some of the players, some of the size, and some of the I was always look at stats.
Yeah.
And well, he's going to have to learn how to share the ball because everybody averaged 20 points that he brought in.
You do look at his lineup. A lot of the recruits and the guys he has, it's almost, are they going to play 4 guards? Like they got so much talent perimeter wise, and they got a couple guys in the middle. Sonnenberg, I think, is going to have big strides this year. But the Lovato kid coming back from injury, I think, is the big deal with the basketball program. If he can run the point, and I don't know if you know this, Steve, but New Mexico Highlands, both the men's and the women's team this year, got the Gatorade Players of the Year on both sides.
Hill.
Yeah, and Hill can go. There's just so much talent here in the state. You and I talk off the air regularly about this, but it's the support for high school athletics, it's the facility for high school athletics. The effort is put in there, and then to be able to reward those student athletes with continuing education here within the state, this is just the dream for so many kids, and that basketball program is going to be very good.
Coach Sherman and the girls, he's, I tell you, impressive. Then he's got some talent to build on from last year. You could just see that they were getting better. They had some injuries and they had COVID, which every team has.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying
their COVID came staggered,
right,
which was difficult. But I think you're right. The point guard's real good, and Maya Rivas, she can go. Aragon is the Gatorade Player of the Year. They brought her in, and she's going to play as a true freshman, which is really impressive. But yeah, they're going to be in the mix too. Also, they bolstered their coaching staff a little bit. So Lindsay Fearing came in. She was a head coach at a junior college in Wyoming, and she's making big impact immediately. So between Coach Sherman and her, I think that program as well. We might be talking about the conference tournament at the end of the year, which is great for them.
Well, that'd be big for the state of New Mexico, big for them.
Mm-hmm.
Good all around. And then softball and baseball. Those coaches, they work so hard. We've sat and talked with them for hours. So
the Highlands softball is kind of an interesting one to me because they have the under 22 Italian, like Italy, like starting pitcher for their national team is their pitcher. So there's just like there's literally worldwide talent up there. And Division II is, it's kind of everyone can hit, no one can pitch. This is baseball and softball. But I think this might be the year where the Highlands Cowgirls, because of what they can do defensively and because of their pitching acumen, are going to be able to kind of separate themselves from the pack. And I will almost assure you a conference tournament for them because I think they have that kind of talent.
And track, speak on that a little bit on track.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, both cross country programs are very good. They had an All-American last year on the men's side. Both ranked near the bottom of the RMAC and preseason polls, but to me that's a little Colorado bias. But their season is literally about to start, and they should be in the mix towards the end of the year. And then obviously the track sports in the spring and the throwing. And I think Olympic sports haven't necessarily, and this isn't just Highlands, this is all collegiate, but Olympic sports haven't necessarily got the due that they deserve, and we're gonna improve that infinitely this season. We're gonna make sure the attention is given.
And a lot of people don't realize wrestling's still alive.
Yeah, it's the only,
and that's your sport. So.
It's the only varsity team in the state. New Mexico Highlands has the only varsity wrestling program collegiately in the state. Isn't that incredible to even think about? So all the best athletes they had an All-American last year who's now coaching with the team, and they brought in a super talented kid from Farmington. There's going to be just a world of buzz around that as well. And I can't tell you that Highlands is going to win every weight class, but I tell you when they're coming out of meets, they're going to be in the mix point-wise. And I think if you're not right now a fan of New Mexico Highlands University and their athletics, if you get on this bandwagon, I'll bring you on. And then I'll help drive you the whole way, because and it's because of that opportunity you gave me a little over a year ago. I've just fallen absolutely in love with the athletics up there and the administration and the athletes themselves. Cool town, cool university, and very good sports product.
You know, you mentioned volleyball, so speak of volleyball. I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, they had a conference tournament bid last year too, so the volleyball team can go. They have right now 11, which is one shy of where they want to be. Coach Tom Duke keeps a really tight rotation out there, but I know they're going to bring in one more body before the year. But I think they have 5 or 6 seniors. So it's a gelled team that's going to want to end on a really high note. So I would set the bar or the net very high for volleyball this year. I think they're going to go all out.
Well, one thing you don't see this, you see it with Danny Gonzalez and Coach Patino, the camaraderie.
Yeah.
At Highlands, it seems like they all interact, they all support. They go to, you see the volleyball coach at all the games. You see the baseball coach, or they're doing something with they're doing something, working with the university, filling in the voids that they have.
And what's interesting to me about you mentioning that is at the D2 level, it's not the D1 level by any means, and you kind of have to give to all programs at all times. So I'll give you an example with the football team. The football team will play on the 1st. It's a night game, 6 o'clock on a Thursday. There's no one else playing. This is the spotlight. Baseball yearns to go out there and make sure it's set up correct. They want to make sure the field is right. They want to make sure the facility is open correct. It's not just Coach Hunt, but it's all of his players, because they know whenever the time comes for baseball to have a big game, that football will come out and support them. And there's a fellowship there that I just got goosebumps talking to you, Steve. There's a fellowship up there that is unmatched as far as I've seen in collegiate athletics.
Well, let's now go back a little bit. We talked about Highlands. And two men on. I mean, you guys are just killing it in the community.
Thank you. Yeah, we're a little bit over a year now in the daily program. We were weekends for 2 years, and it's been really great. So going 4 to 7 every day outside of preemption. So
that's Monday through Friday.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. Thank you. But yeah, it's great, and we utilize the program a lot to spread community message. And we're going to talk sports, and we're going to talk pop culture and current events and all those things that are important to listeners and friends of the show. But what we're going to do is we're going to tie in a little bit of an effort to help others. And I'll just give you an example. Just the other day, we partnered Sprouts with the YMCA of Central New Mexico for Sprouts to bring in meals for after-school programs for the Y. And it's without the KNML and ProView Networks and Comcast Channel 26 and all those outlets, we wouldn't necessarily have the voice to make those connections. So yeah, using the program under the gaze of sports and entertainment, are we so fortunate to be able to help some people in the community, and I'm very proud.
Well, Fred, hey, thanks for coming on. 30 minutes goes by quick with you, but it's fun.
That's crazy to think about. Steve Davis, thank you so very much.